Sinusitis and postnasal drip can be due to inner crying related to previous unresolved grief, related to a loss, a significant emotional loss that you had around the time that your symptoms began. Emotional freedom techniques or EFT tapping can be used to release those trapped tears and resolve your sinus drainage and also the annoying cough that goes with it. The protocol on this video I've used for myself and many of my coaching clients. It includes EFT tapping as well as color breathing, therapeutic shaking, and self-hypnosis with visualization. To begin, you want to identify a possible emotional trigger for your sinusitis and postnasal drip, a loss of either a person, a close loved one, or even a pet. This works quite well for that as well. So we're going to start by rubbing on the sore spot with the setup phrase. So you're going to find on your collarbones, in the middle of collarbones, and go down onto the ribs. You'll see my thumbs there in between the ribs looking for an achy spot in the intercostal muscles. When you find whichever side hurts the most, just rub on that side and say, even though I have inner crying from my sinuses, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have inner crying from my sinuses, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have inner crying from my sinuses, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now take a deep breath of your favorite healing color and then breathe out a color you'd associate with grief or loss. And then we're going to start tapping with the second, third fingers, beginning with the eyebrow point on one side and say, inner crying from my sinuses. Side of your eye, inner crying from my sinuses. Under your eye, inner crying from my sinuses. Under your nose, inner crying from my sinuses. On your chin, inner crying from my sinuses. You can cross over the other collarbone bump, inner crying from my sinuses. Under your arm, inner crying from my sinuses. Below your breast, inner crying from my sinuses. And top of your head, inner crying from my sinuses. Another deep breath, healing color in, grief color going out. And then we're going to switch hands and start with the same phrase, inner crying from my sinuses, and then say, I think it might be related to unresolved grief. I've had some significant losses, and I haven't really fully grieved or dealt with it. And I have tears trapped in my sinuses, and they're running down the back of my throat, causing postnasal drip. And then I get an annoying, aggravating cough. And I can try to take over-the-counter medications, but it hasn't really helped. And I'm worried I'll get a sinus infection. So another deep breath in and out. Favorite color in, grief color going out. I'm going to switch hands, and this is the neutralize step. We're going to go back and forth between negative and positive and see what happens as we do that. So start with inner crying from my sinuses. Side of your eye, say, it's gone, I'm healed. And then under your eye, say, that sounds like wishful thinking. Under your nose, maybe I have taken the edge off it. On my chin, I'm not sure I can just tap away my grief. Collarbone, it would be great if I could. Under your arm, I'm open to that possibility. And I'm curious as to see what would happen if I shifted this grief. And I wonder what's going to happen next. Will my sinuses heal? Deep breath in and out. And now we're going to switch to all positive. We're moving more toward the self-hypnosis part of the protocol. So switch hands and tap on this side. I want emotional freedom now. Side of your eye, I'm letting go of the grief. My sinuses are clearing. Underneath your nose, my postnasal drip is resolving. My annoying cough is going away. And I'm now focusing on my positive memories about my loved one. Cherishing all the time we had together and letting go of everything else. And I'm going to enjoy having them as a spirit guide with me in the future. And now I'll take some more deep breaths in and out. You can close your eyes and just internally breathe in that favorite healing color, breathe out the grief. a little faster and a little deeper than you ordinarily would. So the more you breathe, the faster you breathe, the more the energy moves through your body. And feel the grief going out through your feet. And when you feel your favorite color coming down your arms and your hands, let your hands shake down by your side. Let the energy run down into your legs. Let your toes wiggle, stomp your feet, whatever you need to do to kind of hit the reset button in your body and releasing all the grief out of your body. Once you've done that, let yourself just settle down, scan your body, checking to see if the grief is stuck anywhere. And if so, breathe your favorite color down into that region. Once you've done that, then we're going to go on a little imagery journey to a favorite healing place out in nature. So wherever you want to go, imagine in your mind, use all your senses, what you see, what you hear there, and what you feel, smell. Be present in that favorite place. And then imagine looking down at your feet, looking for a healing object on the ground. You can pick up just the first random object you see, hold it in your hand, and it will be your perfect magic recycling tool, allowing you to just drain the grief out of your body into that object and then return it to the earth any way you want. So just let go of whatever you need to let go of, and then recycle it, turn it into compost. Now you can imagine that you can invite either a healing guide or your lost loved one to come visit you now in this place, and see what happens if they show up. Have a little dialogue with them. Ask them for words of wisdom and advice about how to move on from the grief and heal. And if the loved one comes, that's great. Otherwise, you could have an angel or a wise ancestor or a spirit animal of some sort to give you the words of wisdom. Once you've had that dialogue, go in a time machine back into the past and recall a favorite moment with the loved one that you lost. Could be years ago, could be months ago, whatever seems like the right memory that you want to bring up right now. So see yourself in that scene with that being, and whatever you were doing, just tune into that feeling, and then assign a color to that feeling of being with them, and put that color as a picture frame around a picture of you with them, and put that picture frame up on your wall, on a memory wall, so you can go back and recall that memory anytime you want to tune into it. And breathe that color into your body. And then we're going to go and get in a time machine and go forward to near the time of their passing, and think, is there anything that I didn't get to say that I wish I'd said? Is there anything I said that I wish I hadn't said? Any act I could have done that would have, changed the experience for me and perhaps for them as well? So think about different possible scenarios as if there are parallel universes where something different might have happened. So reimagine that time period any way you wish it had gone. And then we're going to go into the future in your time machine, where your grief is gone, your sinuses are clear, and your postnasal drip is resolved, your nagging cough is gone, and you're breathing freely. And in the future scene, whatever you're doing, see your loved one with you there as a spirit guide in some ethereal form, that they're with you, and you can have a conversation with them if you need to. They can be there just to keep you company. And once you've projected that future scene out there, think of what that would feel like, and think of what color that would be, and put that color around that picture of you in that future frame, and breathe that color into your body now. Put that picture up next to the one from the past. So your fond memories of the past, and then future memories with your loved one as a spirit guide. And once you've completed that process, you can stretch, open your eyes, and come back. And we'll do one more simple self-hypnosis technique, which is just 3 simple steps. You're going to squeeze your thumb and finger together, open your eyes wide, take a deep breath and hold it. And when you're ready, release your hand, close your eyes, blow the breath out, and project yourself into that future frame with your loved one as spirit guide. And anytime you think of them, you can do this process and it'll take you right back into that future self with your loved one. And then when you're done with that, come on back and you can repeat this process as often as needed. And you can really also notice if your relationship with your loved one has changed in some way through this process. In hypnosis literature, they call it metaphysical relationship restructuring. So keep that in mind. You're promoting them from the lost loved one to the spirit guide who'll be with you always. And notice, grief is a multi-step process. You might want to repeat this a number of times. And the other thing it's possible to do is expressive writing is write a letter to them and then burn it and send it up into the heavens. That's another very powerful technique for healing. So thanks for tapping with me today. If you want to know more about my workshops and coaching opportunities, go to larryburk.com. And you also have additional YouTube blogs there and YouTube videos and my blogs. Okay, have fun with this process and heal at your own pace. Thanks for being here.